Sawyer,
Hey,
what's from?
hey. Well, I'm a Christian. I just have a question about the Trinity. I don't know if you
Well,
remember me from a few days
I
ago.
think so.
Yeah, I was the Lutheran. So there's
Oh, yes.
yeah, this thing that came into my mind is like when Jesus says I cannot do anything like on my
John
own.
5:19, huh?
Yeah. So when we're talking about independent and like dependency, are the three persons in the Trinity dependent or independent?
Independent of what? You mean
Like
independent
they
of
don't
creation?
need so do they need each other to function or would like
They
that
did.
go
They're two
against?
separate gods, right?
Oh yeah. So would that mean that they're dependent on each other or independent?
Interdependent. So,
Interdependent?
yeah, well, obviously, because we don't believe they're three separate gods, three
Hmm.
separate beings, so that the two can have their own volition contrary to the Father's. If you actually read that chapter, Jesus actually confirms that.
Okay.
In John 5:19, if you read the entirety, he says, truly I say to you, the Son can do not do a single thing on his own initiative, but finish it. He can only do whatever he sees the Father doing. For whatever the Father does, the Son does in the same manner. So my question to you, does a creature say he can only do what he sees God doing?
No.
Can a creature say he does whatever God does in the same way that God does it?
No.
So that actually confirms the inseparable, right, immutable triune relations, meaning Father, Son, Holy Spirit are inseparable, can only act in perfect accord with one another, can never act apart from one another, because they're not three separate beings and three separate gods. They are one God who possess the same nature and therefore can only act in perfect union. This is what the Trinity is because it's derived from what the Bible teaches, and that's what Jesus teaches. I'm waiting for the cat. In fact, he also says that about the Holy Spirit in John 16:13. He goes, the Spirit will not speak on his own initiative. He'll only speak what he hears. So there you have the Holy Spirit also not going about doing his own thing, because the Spirit, the Son, and the Father are inseparable and cannot function apart from the others and cannot will something contrary to the others.
Okay.
Otherwise, there wouldn't be one God.
So they don't have a separate mind? Is that
I don't know how you define mind. If
like
you say,
conscience?
well, what do you mean by mind? You mean for them to be distinct persons, they have to have three minds?
I'm like, do they have different consciences or would that mean that they're three separate
Hey,
gods
Andrew,
then?
you want me to block you? Because I don't want to see it. You're shirtless, Andrew. I'm not gay. You don't turn me on. Go put on a shirt. I got to get you out of here. All right. Anyway, I got to ask what you mean. What do you mean separate consciousness? Do you mean they're distinct persons?
Like the father has his own mind and the son has his own
Okay,
mind and the
that's
Holy
why I
Spirit.
asked you again. When you say mind, do you mean that mind is a characteristic of personhood? So if there are three persons, they have to have three distinct minds?
Yeah. Like
But
that's
then
is that a
why would that be
heresy?
true of God? Why
Would that
would
be
God have to have three minds to be three distinct persons?
that's what I'm asking. Like they do
Well,
they
that's what
have
I'm
the
answering,
same
brother.
thing?
I'm asking you the question. Sawyer, I'm asking the question and asking the question, you get the answer.
Okay.
Does God have to have three minds if he eternally exists as three distinct persons? No,
No. Okay.
no, because God is not a temporal finite being like you and I. It is true
Okay.
among creatures, you and I, creatures, temporal, finite, limited. I am one person, one being with one mind, but God is not finite, temporal, limited. He is an immaterial being, meaning he doesn't have a material body. He doesn't need space and place. And his being is unlike anything creation. It transcends ours. So God can eternally exist as three distinct persons, but because they have one nature and mind is a characteristic of nature, that means they will all possess one mind. So this one mind, imagine as having three modes that's instantiated in these three persons,
Okay.
right?
I think I get it.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
not going to get it. The more you're going to think about it, it's going to come
Yeah.
against
Like
you.
I always thought about that you're not going to be able to fully understand it
Yeah, you
cuz
won't.
that's understanding God. Like that's not possible.
Hmm? So that's for you, Christian Wagner. Stick it in your pipe and smoke it that you falsely accuse me. I try to ask people what they mean by consciousness, person, and mind. But anyway, you get that point?
Yeah, I think well, obviously I'm not going to 100% understand it, but I guess
Just like
in a way
God,
that I can kind of get it.
just like God doesn't have to be one person to be one being, one God. Therefore, God doesn't have to have three minds to eternally exist as three persons, right? I mean, you being a human being, you are unipersonal because you're created. You're
Mhm.
temporal, finite. And to be a human being is to be a singular person. But God is not a human being. He's not a material being. He's not limited, temporal, finite like creation. And so he exists in a whole more complex manner that's transcendent and greater than anything in creation. That's all I'm trying to get at.
Okay. Yeah, that makes me understand it, I think, better. Because that was just on my mind, and I feel like I had to ask that question. And I couldn't really find anything on it that had given me like a direct answer.
Yeah, you're going to get so many people who struggle with how to explain. There's one God who is uncreated, who's not temporal, limited, finite, who's not a material body. He doesn't have a body like angels do or humans do or stars. And yet this one God is not one person. And even when we use person, you understand what we don't mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
You understand when I call God a tri-personal being, or there are three persons, one God. By person, I'm just using it in the sense of that the Father has awareness. He's aware that he is the Father. He's aware others exist. The Father has cognizance, intellect, will, emotions. Not that he is a physical body. Because when you think person, you're thinking human person with a physical body. That's not how we're defining person in reference to Father, Son, and Spirit.
Okay.
Right? So when you say three persons, average individual thinks, three human persons with physical body. No. By the term person, because our language is limited, finite, imperfect to perfectly capture this infinite mind, this infinite God. So we have to use analogous language. So I use person to refer to the fact that in God there are three of those, what we call persons, but they're not human persons. So we have to be careful in our language. And at the end of the day, what really matters is not whether we can come up with a philosophical model that will help make sense of the Trinity, to show that the Trinity is a coherent belief, and the doctrine Trinity is not irrational, because no matter what model you bring up and come up with, you're going to have opponents putting holes in your model. This is why you have in analytic philosophy all these different Trinitarian models being championed by different individuals, and then criticisms against these models by those who don't hold to it. Because we are finite creatures, limited, trying to best explain how this infinite God, who's not finite, temporal, nor does he have a material body, exists as three distinct persons without being three gods. So we're doing our best to try to make sense out of it, but no matter how hard we try to make sense out of it, we're still going to have holes in each models. So at the end of the day, what really matters is, does the Bible teach it? That's why I'm a Trinitarian. You get my point?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, there you go. So did I help you?
Yeah, that helped me. Thank you.
All right, brother. Any other questions? You're good.
I just got one thing to add. There's this
Yes.
Muslim trying to refute the Trinity that I saw
cares, buddy?
live.
Who
I was
cares?
just wondering if you're down
If you
to look
mention
at
his
it.
name, you know I'm going to block you, right?
Say that again.
If you mention who he is, I'm going to block you, because that means you're being his prostitute, because you're going around and mentioning him, giving him publicity. So are you his prostitute? Does he pay you jizya?
No, he doesn't.
Are you ready to sleep with him?
No, he doesn't. I won't say his name then.
So then why are you giving him free publicity?
Because I saw his stream earlier. That's why.
And why would you want to watch his stream when you're already weak in your faith?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
You're right.
So when are you going to start paying him jizya? I don't tolerate or appreciate Christians being naive and stupid, used of Satan, to go and give anti-Trinitarians publicity by mentioning them.
Okay. Yeah,
So
you're right. I understand.
and honestly, I love you, brother, but you were not born stupid, right?
I don't think so.
Did you become stupid throughout time?
Could be, yeah.
Okay, brother. Well, ask God to cure your stupidity. Don't
I will.
ever advertise for anti-Trinitarians.
Okay. Thanks, Sam.
And I
I
don't care
understand.
what that Muslim said about you. You're okay in my book.
Okay. Thank you.
God bless.
I won't say it. All right.
All right, no, I know. Orthodox Muslim prostitute, lesbianos. Okay, I know. Go pay jizya. Get ready to pay jizya. Stop. The guy is stupid. He's demonized. He's been destroyed. He's a joke. But again, obviously, he rocked your foundation. So why don't you just call him and say, I want to pay you jizya every month because you're my hero. Sorry, get out of here, man. Before I cuss you out, just get out of here.
Okay. Thank you.
Get
Thank
lost.
you.
I'm gonna cuss you out, bro. God bless
Okay.
you.